I want all of you to mark question number 17 as very, very important. Let me read this question for you. N Limited issues 8% debentures of rupees 10 lakhs nominal value at par. These debentures are redeemable at 20% premium after 4 years from the date of issue. Tax rate is 30%. Determine post-tax cost of debt using the following approaches. One is approximation method, that is the traditional method, and the other one is YTM approach. So friends, for your understanding, when it comes to approximation method, I will be using both the versions of formula, but I would want you to adopt only and only the better version of formula for your understanding. Here, when you are learning, you should write up everything in your notebooks, even the bad version of the formula. But when it comes to application, use only and only the better version of formula. That will be more appropriate. Now, looking at the question, what do we understand? Is the debt redeemable or irredeemable? The answer to this is straight. The debt is obviously redeemable. Why? Because they have given the span of that debt, it is 4 years. From the date of issue, after 4 years, these debentures will be redeemed. When they have given a specific redemption date or a specific time where these debt will be redeemed, it is obviously considered as redeemable. So first of all, it is a redeemable debt. So you cannot apply the earlier version of formula. That is what you have learned for irredeemable debt. Here you have to therefore apply the formula or the calculation base of cost of redeemable debt. We will first apply approximation method and we will then apply YTM method. So I am showing you how to present the solution. Please carefully take note of the same, and here we go. When you begin, you write up the formula using approximation method. So it is interest into 1 minus tax rate plus RV minus NP divided by N divided by RV plus NP by 2. Now, have you noticed one thing? In this version of formula, we are applying 1 minus T only and only to the interest component, not to the whole component. So this is the wrong version of the formula. I am sorry that I have to discuss this with you, but I cannot leave it, because if I do so, you will be into troubles. So this is a wrong version of the formula. I am discussing this only because it is given in your books. Now let us write the meaning of each of these variables. Interest will be 80,000. You can calculate the nominal value of debentures, it is 10 lakhs. 8% of that will be 80,000. Redeemable value is 20% more than the issue price. Issue price, which is the net proceed, is 10 lakhs. Redeemable value is 12 lakhs. So logically speaking, difference between the net proceeds and redeemable value, that is 2 lakhs of additional cost upon the company, will be spread over a period of 4 years. That is the logic behind taking that RV minus NP divided by N. And let us now put up the values. So can you notice that 1 minus tax rate has been applied only to 80,000. Logically that should have been applied to the whole component of cost. That is what I am mentioning, that this is not a right version of the formula. So if you anyway apply this calculation, 80,000 into 1 minus 0.3 would give you 70% of 80,000, which will be 56,000, plus within the next bracket it is 12 lakh minus 10 lakh, which will be 2 lakhs of additional cost spread over a period of 4 years. So annual cost would be 50,000. 56,000 plus 50,000 will be the numerator. In the denominator, you are taking simple average of redeemable value and net proceeds. So that will be 12 lakhs plus 10 lakhs divided by 2. So that would be 11 lakhs. So 56,000 plus 50,000 divided by 11 lakhs. What you get is 0.0964, and when you mention it as a percentage, it will be 9.64%. We are going to deal with the better version of the formula also, the right version. Let us move ahead and take the other version of the formula. We will write up the formula in the same way. Can you notice one change? the interest component what I have written in the formula is not adjusted for its post-tax effect. We will first compute the cost of debt without applying the implication of taxes. So we would write the amount of interest, redeemable value, net proceeds and life of debt in the usual manner without any changes. And what happens now is the interest factor remains pre-tax, so that will be 80,000 as it is. It will have no change at all. As a result, all other values remain same, only the interest factor remains pre-tax. So here it will be 80,000 plus 50,000 divided by 11 lakhs, and that will be 0.1182 or 11.82%. This portion of cost of debt which is not yet adjusted with tax, that means the tax benefit has not been considered over here. So this is not the post-tax cost of debt, not the right cost of debt. We have to make tax adjustment over here, and then only we will land up to the post-tax cost of debt. Let me take you ahead and show you how to determine the post-tax cost of debt. It will be the earlier computed KD into 1 minus tax rate. Tax rate again given over here is 30%. So post-tax KD will be 11.82 into 1 minus 0.3. In other words, it will be 0.7 multiplied to 11.82. What you get is 8.27% as cost of debt, that is post-tax cost of debt. Now let me explain one very important point over here. Now this approximation method, of course I am talking about the better version, this version what you have just applied. I told you that it is an outdated concept. We are going to simply find the IRR of this debenture, which will be considered as pre-tax cost of debt, also known as yield to maturity, and then apply 1 minus tax rate to that to arrive at post-tax cost of debt. We are going to do that. But you know one thing, for computing IRR, the only method that is available in this universe is trial and error method. When we were dealing with the capital budgeting topic, do you remember, we have most of the times randomly started with a rate, and when we say applied discounting rate as 10%, looking at whether NPV is positive or negative, we have then applied a lower rate or higher rate. Now here, the pre-tax cost of debt from the approximation formula, which was 11.82%, already gives you a hint that by approximation it is 11.82%. So the pre-tax YTM would be generally between 11 and 12%. I am not saying 100% in all cases, but 99.9% you will find that when you are getting 11.82 as pre-tax cost of debt, your YTM of that bond will be between 11 and 12%. So you know at what rates you have to try out to arrive at the correct calculation. So this is the only advantage of this approximation method. Let me now take you ahead and show you how to apply the calculations of YTM. Please take note of this whole thing, and this is something that you have already learnt in the name of IRR. So please write up the heading, using YTM approach for determining cost of debt. Please write up this heading in your solution itself, and then we move ahead. After writing this heading, let us understand first what we have to do. You are going to determine the intrinsic value of debentures using discounting rate as 12% per annum, because we have decided that we are going to consider something between 11 and 12. Now notice one thing, here what we observed was it was 11.82%, which was very close to 12. So we would first apply calculation with 12%. If we get a positive NPV, we will apply 13% as the next trial. If we get a negative NPV, we will apply 11% as the next trial. So we have preferred getting started with 12% per annum. Now, what is the meaning of this new term intrinsic value? intrinsic value is nothing but the present value of the future cash flows discounted using a discounting rate of 12% per annum. So here goes the calculation. I don't have to explain you anything over here. You have learnt it very clearly. Every year the cash flow that you are having for these debentures in the form of interest will be 80,000, and at the fourth year you will pay the redemption value of 12 lakhs. Because for 1 to 4 years every year you are paying 80,000, the PV factor column indicates the annuity factor for 4 years at 12%, which is 3.037349, and with 12 lakhs line, the PV factor given over there, that is 0.635518, is the present value factor for 4th year. When you multiply the respective cash flows to their respective PV or annuity factors, you will get the present value of these cash flows, and when you take the aggregate, it will be the total present value, and here we are calling this present value as intrinsic value. Now what happens, the net proceeds over here is 10 lakhs, and do you notice that we are getting an intrinsic value greater than 10 lakhs. So if you try to compute NPV, the intrinsic value is 10 lakh 5,610 minus the initial proceeds, which is 10 lakhs. The NPV for the debenture holder will be 5,610 positive. That means at 12% you are getting a positive NPV. So the next trial will be obviously made at a higher rate, that is 13%. So do mention this line as well, that the net proceeds of the debentures, that is 10 lakhs, is lower than intrinsic value determined above. Now the obvious next trial that we will be making will be at 13%, because we want to pull down the present value below 10 lakhs to arrive at a higher discounting rate, and therefore we are taking the next trial at 13%. So let us do the same calculation again, determining the intrinsic value of debenture using discounting rate as 13%. Same type of calculations, only the values will change because of change of discounting rate. Just don't copy the figures, make sure that you are using your calculators, understanding and writing it, because when the right time comes you will have to solve questions on your own. Now we are clearly finding that this time the intrinsic value is lower than the net proceeds of 10 lakhs. That means we are sure that YTM will be lying between 12% and 13%. So let us write that line as well. The net proceeds of the debentures, that is rupees 10 lakhs, it is higher than the intrinsic value determined above. So here if you try to calculate NPV, NPV will go to negative. So with 12% discounting rate, which was a lower discounting rate, we got a positive NPV. With 13% discounting rate, we got a negative NPV. Therefore YTM of the debentures must be between 12% and 13%. Let us move ahead and look into how to determine that YTM using interpolation formula. Now interpolation formula I have already explained you earlier. It is just the same thing that we have learned in capital budgeting under the name of IRR. So here it is yield to maturity, which is equal to lower discounting rate, plus in the numerator within brackets what is written is intrinsic value at LDR minus net proceeds, and in the denominator it is intrinsic value at LDR minus intrinsic value at HDR multiplied by difference between HDR and LDR. So that will be simply substituted with all these values, and when you make the calculation, what you get is 12.177% as YTM. Now this YTM is basically the pre-tax cost of debt. We just have to do one adjustment over here, convert this into post-tax by multiplying 1 minus 0.3 to this calculation, and that is all needed for using YTM approach. Alright, let me explain something more important over here just to sum up what we have discussed over here. Please carefully listen to me once again. When we have attempted this calculation of YTM, prior to that, what we did, we have used approximation formula. Now I told you 10 times already, when it comes to approximation, the better version only should be used by you. Okay, don't use that wrong version. I have taught you and I have given you reasons why we have learned that, but don't ever use it. The better version is still having some sense. That better version of approximation formula landed up at 11.82% as pre-tax cost of debt. Catch that calculation and you should get a hint that YTM will be near around 11.82%. However, it could be between 11 and 12%, or it could be between 12 and 13%, but definitely it won't go beyond that in most cases. In most cases means 99.9% cases it won't go beyond that. So we should not start our trial with 11%. We have instead started our trial over here with 12%. At 12%, the intrinsic value of the debenture was more than the net proceeds, giving a hint that the debenture holder has a positive NPV at 12% discounting rate. That means the rate of that debenture or the YTM of that debenture must be between 12 and 13% and not between 11 and 12%. After getting that, what is the next thing that you have to do? The next thing that you have to do is try with the 13% discounting rate, the same intrinsic value calculation, and confirm that the YTM of the debenture is definitely between 12% and 13%. Then use this interpolation technique and just arrive at the calculation of YTM. This YTM, however, what we have obtained over here is a pre-tax cost of debt. Post-tax effect is yet to be given. What I was telling you, that when you are solving questions ahead, and if the question is asking both the methods, you first use approximation method, of course the better version of the formula, get the hint of the YTM and then make your trials. You will not struggle with more number of trials ever. So that is the advantage of using that approximation method. One small formality that is left over here, that is we have to convert this pre-tax cost of debt into post-tax. Let me show you how to do that. Just move ahead and write up KD, that is post-tax YTM, will be YTM multiplied by 1 minus tax rate, and that would be 12.177 into 1 minus 0.3, and that would finally give you 8.524% as post-tax cost of debt.